නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස අත්තදීපානම් භික්කවේ විහෙරතං අත්ත සරණානං අනඤ්ඤ සරණානං ධම්මදීපානං ධම්මදී සරණානං අනඤ්ඤ සරණානං Yoniso nang upaparikkitabbati ti. Dear friends in Dhamma, we were discussing a particular sutta coming in the Khanda Sangyutta. Hope you all are a little familiar here. In the Sutta Pitaka, there are 5 Nikayas, 5 categories, and connected discourses are one of it, what we call as the Sangyutta Nikaya. Different themes are gathered, grouped, and they are collected in what is called Sangyutta Nikaya. In that Sangyutta Nikaya book, there is one collection called Khanda Sangyutta, where Buddha describes about the aggregates. Now all our experiences and so-called personal beings, humans, animals, whatever this whole experience, actually Buddha categorized into 5 aggregates. The Rupa, the form aggregate, Vedana, the feelings aggregate, Sanya, the perceptions aggregate, and then formations, the Sankhara aggregate, then Vijnana, the consciousness aggregate. So they are here. Aggregates are we are. It is not outside. So it is not in the moon, it is not outside. So all are aggregates here itself. Now if we consider form aggregate, so here we all can see the forms. So here also forms, there also forms, here also forms, animate, inanimate, and what was existed as physical manifestation, that also comes under the form aggregate. In the future, on tomorrow, yes, what's going to happen in the material level, in the physical level, that is also coming under the form aggregate. So whatever material comes under the form aggregate. It's a kind of a comprehensive analysis of all the physicality. You know that Attita Anagata Pachuppanna, that means the past, future, present, Olarika Sukhuma, that means whatever the gross and the refined, then internal, external, the ajjata bahidda, then hina panita, that means very soft, and then gross, dura santika, that means far away, and then what is near. So it's 11 dimensions Buddha talk, even with respect to form aggregate. That means a comprehensive, whatever materials, matter, physical, available, either in the past, present, future, near, far, soft, gross, internal, external, all comes under the form aggregate. And similarly the feelings. So whatever the feelings that we are experiencing, maybe presently, maybe what we have already experienced, what we are going to experience, all comes under the feelings aggregate. And perceptions, sanya. Actually, that is typically we call it, translate it as perceptions, but sanya is more broader. Whatever the signs, marks that we pick when we are experiencing through our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind. So different signs that we are picking, different forms that we are picking, different, say, marks what we are picking. So all are actually the sanya aggregate. And then later upon, on top of that, we start thinking, and ultimately we have building certain perceptions. That is also considered as in the perceptions aggregate, sanya aggregate. So sanya is again very vast, and we are dealing with sanya. We are dealing with various names, labels, and signs, marks. So that comes under the perceptions aggregate. And then today we have to talk about the formations aggregate. We already discussed about the form aggregate, feelings aggregate, perceptions aggregate, and today we hope to discuss about the formations aggregate, sankhara khanda. Now, sankhara, the term sankhara. So Buddha asked the question in the Kajjaniya Sutta, Kincha bhikkhave sankhare vadeta. Why monks are called sankhara? Formations. It's a very interesting area. It's in a way little philosophical as well as very practical. Sankhatang abhisankaronteti bhikkhave tasma sankharat vivucchanti. So this is the definition. Sankhatang abhisankaronti. So the sankhara, the formations are responsible to further construct, further fabricate. Now, say for example, you have a image about a pot, but right now what you have is, say, a lump of clay. But in your mind you have the kind of imagination about a pot. Right now what you have is somewhat a lump of clay. So how are you going to make a pot? Maybe, if you know pottery, you can do it. So ultimately you have the pot. So where first it appeared, it's in your mind, right? So you had the image of the pot, maybe its uses and how it has to look like, how I am going to create it. So all are kind of constructs, all are preparations, all are fabrications, all are your thoughts, imaginations, how it has to be created, how it has to be prepared, how I am going to put it to the yarn, then I am going to sort of burn it, then I am going to apply certain colors to it, then to this particular price I am going to sell it. So all these are, mentally we create, and accordingly we prepare the pot. So all those are preparations. So whatever the form appeared previously, also a lump of what you call clay, but it then has turned into a pot. So we had the imaginations, we had the preparations, creativity, all that, our thoughts, designs, etc. So we are inserting that, we are influencing that onto that lump of clay, and then it is turned into a pot. Sankhatang abhisankaronti. So already it is some conditioned phenomena. It's made up with, earth, water, fire, air. So these are the basic elements, primary elements. But as a lump of clay, you can't sell it. Not much value. But once you prepare it to a pot, it has some opportunity value. It has, maybe if you put it in a more design, more beautiful way, you can sell it on Laksala or somewhere. Or else you can sell it during the Aurdu season. Already you might have bought a pot to put the milk rice. So whatever the way that you imagine, okay, now we are preparing it according to a pot, and then you are selling it. Same thing. Say if you want to write a song, now you may be having certain thoughts about it. Okay, this is the theme I am going to write, this is the way I am going to compile it, and these are the words. So you are imagining, you are putting, again recreating, again erasing, again you are putting. You may be singing it, you are putting a tone to it, a melody to it. You may be discussing with the composer or whoever making the tune, again readjusting. Ultimately it is coming up as a song, isn't it? So it's not only to something tangible, even at the sounds when we are creating, or rather a song, when we are creating it to be a song, so we have prepared it. Certain words, we are putting certain meanings to it, and then we are putting a melody to it, and nowadays they are putting even visuals to it, and you are publishing it in YouTube, you are publishing or broadcasting it in the Rupavahini, whatever. all our, imaginations we came up with, and now it's become a song. Beautiful song, and you are winning the prize even. Best composer of the year. So this all creativity, all our constructing. So we all construct every day. So mere words doesn't have much value, but when we put it together in a certain manner, certain way, once you are composing it, compile it, and then someone else's help is there to add the melody, a tune, and another group is helping to supply the music, another group is recording it, so many things are there. Ultimately it becomes a song with visuals even. So sankatang abhisankaranti. So even a word is something, we prepared, we created. So who has given a meaning to a particular word, isn't it? Say we are telling, okay, mother. So whenever I am talking that word mother, so you get the feeling of that, everything is attached to that particular word, put that label. So you have certain emotions coming and all the connections coming. And now you are putting so many other words together and you compile a song, you compile a verse, lyrics, everything is there. Then you are coming up with a song. So the amma, mother, itself is a constructed word that we prepared. But now we are further constructing it, isn't it? We are further preparing it, further manipulating it, further fabricating it, composing it. We give various names. And so all that comes under the sankhara khandha. Say when you are preparing your food, salt is there, maybe rice is there, maybe other ingredients are there, various spices are there. So say you prepare rice, you prepare curries, this and that, and different names are there, and you add different colors even, and you do various other decorations, and you give special names, and now you can even sell or you can even eat. So different tastes are there. So just a mere taste, not enough. You have to have a special taste. Today is special. And then only you can market it, then only you can sell it. So all those fabrications, all your imaginations, all your marketing, selling points are put together, and now you can sell it. So all our constructions, all our fabrications, all our, your imaginations, now you are in a way kind of materializing it. Ultimately it has kind of a selling value. So you are selling it. Maybe you are eating it, you are tasting it, others are even tasting it, appreciating it, praising it. This and that happens even to the tastes. So we are still in the form aggregate. Say smells also the same. Say different smells are there. Okay, to this time I have to prepare this kind of a smell, for this time another smell, for this season another smell, for this occasion another smell. I don't know. A huge area again. So all that actually are our imagination. So and we the people whoever in that industry, they know how to stimulate our desires, our passions. So accordingly they prepare the smells, incense, and they put a price to that, and they may be putting it in a very beautiful bottle, and maybe a kind of a beautiful wrapper and all that. And then they are easy to market, easy to sell. All our preparations, all are prepared. So we get the meaning now, preparing, fabricating, constructing, designing. All comes under this formations aggregate. And we have a chair here and it's constructed, isn't it? So to the body, to sit, we have constructed a chair. So I might have given the instructions, you might have thought about it. Okay, another carpenter come into the picture and they found some wood. They cut it into pieces and they properly prepare it, polished it, assembled it, name it. Now it has become maybe a meditation chair. Now we can give a different name. Other chairs are also there, similar, typical small chairs, plastic chairs, wooden chairs. So we can give various brands even. Arpico, different brands are also there now. So all are, we have other perceptions about it. Now these are getting now combined. Perceptions aggregate also come into the picture when you have, particular brand, you have a certain perception. So if we put it aside, now even if we consider only about the formations aggregate, so even to the body related tangible things, whatever these tangible objects, so that is also coming under the constructions. Now this whole hall, our house, our room, whatever, all are constructions. So the body can be kept there. Now you want to build a house. Now you are talking to an architect and he or she coming up with various designs and you are giving certain inputs. I have to put this way, I have to put a room here, I have to put the veranda here, I have to have a corridor here, it has to be 2-story, blah blah blah. Now this architect is getting all your inputs and he is giving a price tag and this is the new way, this is the that design, this is the old design, and now he is coming up with the architectural drawing and you are now talking to different contractors. So I know a little bit because these days we are building the Sattva monastery. Then you end up with financial problems. No, you rate it, scale it down to okay, this is the only thing I can take up. Let's handle the other part, upper story later. Only let's decide only the first story. So scale it down, and ultimately you build up a house, a kuti, dhanasala. So first it came to our idea, to the mind, and we then get together and different professionals are coming together and they discuss, and then the dhanasala being built, a kuti being built, a meditation hall being built. So all the ideas ultimately materialize into a physical entity. So Buddha defines here, rupang rupattaya sankatang abhisankaronti. The forms, they are already constructed phenomena, conditioned phenomena, but now they being further fabricated, they being further constructed. So that we are naming it, we are giving an additional value to it, we have our whatever the purpose being satisfied through that. So all whatever the typical different physical material objects, ultimately we get together and construct to a complete different phenomena. Say we may have sand, may have, the cement, and whatever the bricks, they are the typical, very basic fundamental materials, and then our design and all that is in our mind, and they prepare it, and ultimately using all that, we create a house. We prepare a house, we prepare a kuti. So depending on our desire, depending on our requirement, so we can fabricate. So all are constructions. So all these constructions happen in our mind first, isn't it? So we are the ones designing it, we are the ones thinking about it, designing it internally, dreaming about it. So after the marriage, I want to live with him in this kind of a house. So this is how we imagine. So dreaming about it, this has to be like this has to be like that, my dream house. So this is how the architects may market it. To build your dream house, please come to us. We are the builders of your dream house. So all your dreams are ultimately coming to true, or maybe they are mere dreams. So anyway, so all that material things ultimately further fabricated, further constructed, and ultimately we end up with something, a name is given. This is a house, this is a garden, this thing, that thing, all this like that. Now we only just discuss the form aggregate being further fabricated into something new, something more creative, something more attractive, something more beautiful, something more useful. So we can give different ways, different meanings. How about feelings? Say if you think, okay, it's little heaty today, so let's have maybe a good air conditioner. So we tried that also, I think. It failed. Different options are there. So you probably will fix the wind turbines. Already taken out, now it's still working. Not much use, by the way. So anyway, people have different ideas about, okay, we need to have more comfort and more pleasant feeling in this environment, so let's have a comfortable environment. So we are thinking about it, and then we are preparing various other things. And accordingly, we feel comfortable or we feel uncomfortable, we feel pleasant or unpleasant. And while you are there, now say for example, you are simply sitting. Now when I am sitting here, if I feel little heaty, little warm, then I can little increase the speed of the fan maybe. So I am changing the feeling. Currently I am going through a certain kind of a feeling, but I want to change it. So I can do it to some extent. So feelings can be also further changed, further constructed, the way you like. So ultimately we are going after the feelings. So certain feelings we really like, certain way we really like. If the present feeling does not match with that what I desire, okay, then you can try some way to create that feeling that what you are expecting. So feelings also we do constructions. So you have different ways to prepare feelings. And perceptions also very same. Now say you are having various sanya, various signs, various marks, and using those signs, marks, little things, we capture using our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, the sense faculties. And those signs are taken in, and using which we give a name. Oh, this is my mother. This is my child. This is a clock. This is a recorder. So the signs are the ones we are picking actually, very primitive signs. But using the signs we can prepare something inside, internally. And we can even give it a name, we can give it a value, and we can even personify that, isn't it? Now, when assume that you are thinking about your child, and immediately maybe what is happening inside your mind is maybe a kind of a mental image of your child, but that mental image we don't consider as mental image, rather we immediately attribute the child into that. Oh, this is my son. What's going to happen to him? Is he well? Is he fine? Or has he come home or had troubled? And you have your affection, you have your this and that, your likes, dislikes. All are now slowly embedded to that sign. Now it's no more a sign, it's my son, my daughter. Sign has become someone. Sign has become something important. No more a sign. It's someone. Oh, my son. Oh, my daughter. My mother. My father. My country. So what appeared inside the mind is a little signs, but now it is something. So we create that something. We prepared that. So internally, so we are like film directors, isn't it? So we are, we are creating various films inside our mind. So what is the film going on right now? You need to check your mind. What's the film? What's your dream? Or completely silent? So is your mind going through a dream currently? Or No dream at all. What is the story inside the mind now? So we are like story builders, isn't it? So we are creating a story. Now, what's that? Iran has attacked Israel. Israel is now also going to attack. Oh, there could be a third world war. What's going to happen to Sri Lanka? My goodness. This Iran president also going to come. What's going to happen? Will they bombard here? Will Israel attack Sri Lanka? So you can create a story. You can become really, excited. And someone even, come up with a heart attack. By imagining things. A lot of uncertainties are there. So you can think, you can ultimately overthink, and ultimately it comes to a complete mental fabrication, conceptual proliferation, complete prapancha. So we are overthinking. We are great thinkers, isn't it? So we are thinking, and we can imagine, and all that our desires are coming, and our likes and dislikes are coming in, our cultural biases are coming in, our national values are coming in, our political biases are coming in. All that, get together, and we prepare the kottu roti. Once we eat that, indigestion. So mental fabrications. Now, different thoughts are there now. So that means, now that's the interesting part now. Rupang rupattaya sankatang abhisankaronti. That means whatever the tangible, physical, the sights, sounds, smells, tastes, tangibles, physical things, that also we can fabricate to something different. That's what I first explained. That sands, bricks, cement and all that create, and then we prepare a house. Rupang rupattaya. Form into fabricated form. Then vedanang vedanattaya. Feelings into more fabricated type of feelings. Sanyang sanyattaya. Signs into more fabricated perceptions. Then sankhare sankharattaya. That's another interesting area. So the thoughts level, various mental image levels, various mental constructs level, that is also further constructed. We've just got a thought. That thought, we can't simply let it go. So that thought, on top of that thought, we are adding another thought. On top of that thought, we are adding another thought. Maybe another thought coming from the past to the future, to the present, to the past, to the future, and ultimately completely entangled. And that being consumed us. So that is the Madhupindika Sutta. Where Chakkuncha paticca rupecha ubbacchati chakviññāna. Tinnan sangati passo. Passa paccaya vedana. So you have simply merely seen a sight, and you got the kind of knowing about it. It happens again and again. Things are working together again and again. Now you get a contact. Something has happened. You waken up. And then it produces a feeling. And then you want to check it. You want to recognize it. Yang vedeti tang sanjanati. Now you are putting your hand. Now you are interrupting. So far it happened as a very, natural process. Even to the Buddha, even to the Arahants, kind of a natural process is there. Say, I form eye consciousness. As a result of that, the contact causes Vedana. From that point onwards, we put our hand. Yang vedeti tang sanjanati, yang sanjanati tang vitakketi, yang vitakketi tang papancheti. So now we are in action. So what I have seen, is it a beautiful something? You've seen that thing. So I recognize in that. Once I recognize, I can't stop the mind, so I want to think about it. Or someone else is also asking, why don't you think about it? They also, if you are not thinking much, others will come and tell, why don't you think about it? Can't you give another thought about it? you better think about it further. Without coming to a, quick decision, you better think further. So people promote thinking. Great thinkers are there, no? If you are not thinking too much, others will come and tell you, okay, why don't you think further about it? You better give another thought. So we think, and ultimately the thinking machine starts and it burns out. Now it is catching the momentum, and you are also becoming part of it, and you become a victim of it. Yang vediti tang sanjanati, yang sanjanati tang vitakketi, yang vitakketi tang papancheti, yang papancheti tato nidanam purisang papancha sanya sankha samudacharanti atita anagata pachuppannesu chakku vinyayesu rupesu. So we just talk about the sights, what's going to happen with respect to sights, how ultimately mind get tangled in a complete dream, complete fabrication, complete story, complete mental proliferation. A victim now. No more you are thinking, rather mind is taken you as a victim of that thinking process. Fabrications, proliferations. Now overthinking, too much thinking, end up with maybe depression, end up with anxiety, many, mental disorders even. All are, coming under the sankhara. Sankhara khanda is a very, complete, kind of complicated area. Huge area. So nowadays actually our lives are very complicated. Unlike past, very simple lives in the past, but now very complicated. Too much thinking has kept things into more fabricated, more prepared, more complicated stuff. Very complex. And so you need to now little think about the sounds, smells, tastes, tangibles, even to the thoughts, how ultimately we get tangled in the thinking itself, proliferation, papancha. Now, that is coming under the sankhara khanda. That means whatever thoughts we are not merely keeping as thoughts, whatever thoughts we are not allowing it to fade away, but we construct on top of thoughts. Whatever merely sights, we are not merely keeping it there, so we construct on top of that. Sounds also similar, smells, tastes, tangibles, mental objects are very similar. So ultimately, as a result of too much thinking, we become even sick, mentally sick. Now Buddha actually gives another area to think. Attadipanam bhikkhave viharata attasarana ananya sarana. Dhammadipa viharata dhammasarana ananya sarana. Monks, you got to be an island unto yourself, a refuge unto yourself. There is no any other refuge. You have to keep the Dhamma as a refuge, as an island, no other refuge. So while you are behaving like that, you got to do an investigation, kind of an introspection. So what is the introspection? Kinjatika asoka parideva dukkha domanasupayasa kim pahotika. So how the internal unhappiness is happening, how this agitation has happened, how this suffering has happened, how this little pain has happened, how this worry has happened. So any kind of a mental or physical, of course, physical you can find out, you can talk to a doctor if you can't find out, but mental things. So how internal sorrow, how internal unsatisfaction, little unrest, maybe little bit of sorrow. So is there such kind of a sorrow currently available in my mind? So Buddha invites us to do an introspection. And if there is sorrow, if there is lamentation, if there is worrying, then probably now we are talking only with respect to the formations aggregate, sankhara aggregate, probably you might have identified with these formations. Sankhare attato samanupassati. Assume that you are thinking, say, I am angry. There is a lot of angry thoughts are there going on. Now you feel uncomfortable, anger is there. Oh, I am angry. I am an angry person. Why I am getting angry so much? So I am participating to Kalalgoda every day now, every month I am coming. How this much of anger coming, I am so much of anger. How this anger is coming? You even can't take it to that level. Probably I am angry. I am a short-tempered person. So I am so and so. So you take anger as yourself. So whatever that, intention, whatever that thoughts, whatever that emotion, you immediately recognize as myself. Oh, this is I am. I am an angry person. I am a short-tempered guy. So I am a lustful character. I am a too much speculative character. So you can define yourself. You can identify about yourself. If it has a purpose, doesn't matter. We need to understand, if there is too much anger in the mind, if there is too much lust in it, if there are too much speculations in it, fine. You as a meditator, as a introspection through mindfulness, you can understand that, because you can then find out a remedy for that. It is not the point we are talking here. What we are talking here is that we immediately identify this as myself. That's a kind of immediate identification. Sankhare attato samanupassati. So whatever that volitional activity is available in the mind, you immediately recognize as this is I am. Or you can consider it belongs to me. Oh, this is my thought, this is my idea, this is my brilliant idea. I am the one who is having this kind of an idea. So all that your creativity, all that your thoughts, your imaginations, your dreams, now you possess them. You consider, this is my dream, don't disturb my dream. Mage sihine mata dakinna ida harinna. So please don't come and disturb me when I am dreaming. So please let me dream. It's a beautiful, dream. So we want to enjoy that even. And this is my dream. So you can't come and disturb me because I am enjoying my dream, my fantasy. So it is my fantasization, it is my dream, it is my imagination, this is my design, this is my brilliant idea. So all are now, it becomes my idea, my fantasy, my dream. So you have another way of relationship now. Previously you are that, basically. You are that. But now it is my dream, my fantasy, my fabrication, my imagination, my design, my thought. So all thoughts are thoughts yours. So there's probably you have heard about him. There is, I also has very less knowledge about him. By the way, he has a popular statement. It's called René Descartes. It's a French philosopher. It's a very, popular statement by him. He's telling, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. So there are thoughts, so I am thinking, so I am existing. Simple as that. So whenever there are thoughts, you feel, there is someone to think, isn't it? If there is no one, then how thoughts can happen? So that is his assertion, that is his philosophy. He is simply saying, there are thoughts, so I am here. I am thinking, so I am here. Thoughts maybe belong to me, or I am thinking. So whatever the way we can now interpret it, either I am thinking, or these are my thoughts. all are affirming I, all are affirming a self. Or I am someone, so this thinking is part of it. Thinking of that I, in order for this I to manifest, this thinking is some essential part, essential component. So I is something vast, and in that I, in that self, thinking is another part, another way of interpretation. Or else, inside thinking there is a soul. Inside, a kind of imagination, in kind of thinking, there is a self, there is a soul. That soul is the one thinking. You can interpret in many different ways. So that's why in the Sakkaya Ditti, with respect to the formations aggregate, Sankhare attato samanupassati, Sankhara vantangva, vantanangva attanang, attaniva sankhare, sankharesu va attanang. 4 different possibilities Buddha explained with respect to the sankhara khanda, with respect to the formations aggregate. So whenever thoughts are present in the mind, how are we identifying with them? Are we immediately identifying as I am thinking? Or am I recognizing as these are my thoughts? Or inside me there is kind of thinking going on? So anyway, affirming a self, affirming a person, affirming an individual, I am, some other way or another way. Somehow we are affirming a self with respect to thoughts. So have you come across any moment where no thought, complete absence of thought? In your meditation? Never? So then how are you going to define I? So at that time, what has happened to I? So it vanished and then you again pull it back. So it was trying to go away like a kite that you quickly, put a thread and come, I mean, don't go away, I mean, come. Now we are talking about thoughts. So are you thinking? Have you gone crazy? So we are talking about the thoughts, we are talking about the fabrications, we are talking about our imaginations. Say you are in the walking path. So you are doing left, right. Slowly you are meditating, you are putting your attention again and again to the body, to the feet. So your too much thinking has become less now. Still thinking going on, you are again and again being mindful, further developing body awareness. You are practicing again and again. In the morning you practice, evening you practice, next day or morning you practice, evening also practice. You practice many months. And one day, while walking, so you are able to silently pay attention to each and every step, each and every sensation. And at the end of the walking path, you understood, okay, mind has stopped. Inner chatter has stopped. No thoughts. So where are you? Now, according to Descartes, it can't happen, right? Because for Descartes, I to exist, thinking has to be a must. I think, therefore I am. So the thinking is one essential part of the existence of an I. So in case while walking thinking stops, you should be dead. So be careful. In between the path, you might die. While sitting, you might die. Because thought's going to stop. Would you like to? So is thinking essential? So actually we can discuss this on tomorrow. Anyway, the point is now thinking has become kind of ingredient, one important aspect of our mind in ourselves. And nowadays we are overthinking. We are thinking too much. And this thinking has many repercussions, very dangerous consequences. And it is the root cause of conflicts, root cause of various doubts, speculations, root cause of even you become further angry, you become doubtful about your, say, relatives, you're doubtful about your children, you're doubtful about your wife, you're doubtful about your husband. What has happened may be a slight thing, but too much thinking has caused all that turmoil. It can make a little thing into a completely fabricated, a huge thing. You have added so much onto it. You have, constructed it slowly. You have constructed it further and further. So the Sankhara Khandha influence is so, kind of important. So it is further and further helping to further and further construct. Ultimately, you can even imagine something, and you can even fabricate something, and you can accept that as the norm, accept that as the reality, accept that as the truth. And recently, actually, I saw a video. It's about a postman. It's in the YouTube. A postman is going to a house to give a letter. He's distributing letters, no? And then there's a beautiful girl. And when he delivered the letter, that girl is looking at him and he's, really interested about her. Then what happened? There's a song now. Can you remember the name? I can't remember the name. මොකද්ද ලේලි අපේ අම්මගේ මොකද්ද මේ ලෝකෙම ලස්සන ලේලි අපේ අම්මගේ වේවි එහෙම නේ දෙන්නේ වචන ටික ගමේම මොකද්ද ගමේම ලස්සන ලේලි අපේ අම්මගේ වේවි. So the whole, my wife would be the beautiful, she's so beautiful and to the level that my mother will own the most beautiful daughter-in-law in the village. So he's imagining this way, that way. You better see that song. Complete fabrication. And he imagines and how he's going to, talk to her and love her, marry her, and then later she became pregnant. While being pregnant, he's dancing with her, and then she get few, kids, and all that is there. So while on the bicycle, he's thinking. Still he is on the bicycle, just delivered the letter. But how far it has gone? Complete fabrication, complete proliferation. Fortunately, there was a rain that stopped. So this is what's going to happen to us. So a little thing, someone's just a sign. Someone's, a little sign, maybe a little smile, can trigger your thoughts, can trigger your imaginations, can trigger your desires, and the person has gone away. That girl has already gone inside and she is looking at through the window. This fellow is imagining while being on the bicycle. Some similar story was there in the, the commentary also. I need to little modify it. That's why I put a new example. In the commentary, there's another beautiful example. Let me share that also. One Samanera was using this kind of a thing, a fan, to fanned the elder monk. Elder monk is an arahant. So this young monk, while doing that, so he was thinking about, I think I can't also remember the story now, thinking about finding a cow or something and then buying a cow and then selling a cow and earning some money, and then with that he become rich, and then he found a girl and he got married and they got children, and now he got a cart also, those days cart, and now they are going to see the wife's parents. On the way, going through the cart, there was a huge pit. So the cart got dropped onto the pit, and the wife couldn't hold the child properly, and that child being dropped. So this fellow become really angry. You drop the child, hit the fellow. Then the chief monk is telling, "Oh, don't hit me." He hit the wife, but the fan got hit the bald head of the chief monk. Same thing. All our fabrications, all our imaginations. So we create our different stories. So all this comes under the formations aggregate. So formations aggregate is a real culprit. So it can create, it can imagine, it can fabricate, fantasize, all that is there. So whenever there are different physical components, you can fabricate. Whenever there are certain current feelings going on, further you can fabricate. Whenever you are picking up little signs, marks, you can fabricate. Whenever there are little thoughts come into the mind, you can fabricate. You can create a story. And through the senses, whenever we are operating, so through the eyes, when you are sensing, you are, recognizing. When you are through the ear, we are recognizing, and you can create a self. So I am the one who saw it. I am the one who heard it. So you are attributing a self to either this end to the other end, whatever the end, and further you do the fabrication. So all, the sensory level cognition, sensory level recognitions are further fabricated. Viññānaṁ viññānattāya saṅkhataṁ abhisaṅkharonti. So it's a very huge area, in a way kind of complicated. So inside our mind, a kind of a machine is always operating, fabricating. So prapancha itself is a very interesting subject. So this fabrication has a great support coming from certain tendencies in our mind. So our tendency is to proliferate. We love proliferation. We have a trait of proliferation. So Buddha say, papanchabhi rata paja. So this whole folk is delighted in fabrications, delighted in proliferations. So we love imaginations. So that's why we are daydreaming. That's why we are imagining. That's why we are creating stories. So we fond of it. We enjoy it. We become delight about it. When say you are a youngster, and you fall in love with someone, then you can simply think, you can imagine, fantasize. Hours might have spent. Still you are thinking. Maybe you are laughing, you are crying, tears are coming, again laughing, singing, hitting again, using the fan. Maybe still on the bed, maybe still on the chair. A lot of imaginations are there, a lot of stories have created. Probably the mother coming and ask, "Why are you laughing?" Then only the story might stop. being disturbed. Then probably you might even tell your mother, you go away, don't disturb me, mage sihine mata dakin ida harinna, mage sihinen ma mudanna, lang nowanna. So please allow me to dream, please allow me to fantasize, don't disturb me. So we like that. We are enjoying that. We are being delighted that. So this is a kind of a trait we have. In the human mind, we have this bad trait, bad habit of imaginations, thinking too much, fantasizing, proliferations. All comes under the formations aggregate. And this actually taking us to a huge distance, and if you are too much thinking, probably you can have various grudges, you can build up grudges, you can have too much expectations, imaginations, don't know where it will take you. And you can imagine and have a grudge with someone. You can have prejudices, preconceived ideas. So all are creating a kind of a mess in the mind. Now, formations aggregate is, in that sense, it's a really complex area causing a lot of suffering, particularly mental suffering. And ignited by those thoughts, triggered by those imaginations, fabrications, then you start acting on them, you are using your body, your words, and messing up the whole thing. Like that. Who this Samanera, like messing up with the chief monk, or that postman messing up while on the bicycle. So people can mess up the whole thing because we are believing all these thinking, we are believing all these thoughts, we are believing all these our fabrications. We are taking them for granted and we are merely victims at that level. Okay, we'll look at how to overcome these things on tomorrow. And today we need to understand the depth of it, the complexity about it. And we all are in the same boat. Sometimes we are going through that fabrications, daydreaming, fantasizing. So find out your story. What is the story currently going through? While walking, is there singing going on? While breathing, while paying attention to breathing, is there a story going on? Is there any dreaming going on? So all are probably happening in the mind. So you need to find out, recognize that. And that might also have certain implications about our character also. And anyway, this is a very interesting area, particularly related to Chittanupassana and Dhammanupassana. And we'll discuss about the overcoming of proliferations, overcoming of calming down of formations aggregate tomorrow. And with that, I like to conclude today's Dhamma sermon. And don't think about it too much. So we have a little sharing of merits. Today lunch dana offered by Sakuntala Vijayaratna from Sydney, offered to their wishing Venerable Bhante and yogis, blessed her beloved son Akin Vijayaratna, 11th years old, on to 23rd April. Bless his life, good health, happiness, and may Triple Gems bless all the yogis and the participants. Theruvan Saranai. So today also we have gathered here, spent fair amount of time discussing Buddha's teaching and then meditating. So that has created a lot of merits. So we'll share these merits with all past relatives and all the celestial beings and whoever in need of merits. And we wish these merits help us also to attain path, fruition, nibbana. We'll recite the traditional verses. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavatacha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Ettavataca amhehi sambatang punya sampadang. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahiddika. Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahiddika. Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu desanang. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahiddika. Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu mamparang. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idang vo ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Imina punya kammena māme bāla samāgamo. Satang samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā. Imina punya kammena māme bāla samāgamo. Satang samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā. Imina punya kammena māme bāla samāgamo. Satang samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.